Hello, my fellow hunters. I've got a secret to tell you. Come closer, come closer, come closer. I have committed heresy. Yep, come closer, closer, closer. I have made an effective status greatsword set. Oh, not that close, my nose. I'm okay. I'm okay, see? Look, let's just go. Oh, it's bleeding. Oh, so what are we talking about here? Well, the thing is, the greatsword... I mean, look, I'll tell you right out the gate, this isn't going to be better than your traditional pile on your attack skills and hit hard with the rocket-powered greatsword. But it is a different way to play, and it's a lot of fun, and it's not that far behind. So this is a sleep KO hybrid greatsword, abusing the KO power of the tackle along with its inherent defensiveness and the fact that the jumping wide slash, you know, the thing that you press after a tackle if you want to bail out, the sort of that's the sound effect I've given it. That thing does bonus status slash elemental damage. It's kind of almost enough to make elemental. It's not really, but you know, it helps, okay? So if you kind of cycle between spamming those two things along with the slugger that we get from the armor, the sleep attack that we're putting in, you can get pretty consistent sleeps and KOs, and that for a greatsword is high damage. Consistent sleep wake ups is huge, and then free openings for a true charge slash is also pretty huge. So we'll get to the actual build itself in a moment, but you've skipped ahead, haven't you? I've lost you, so... Well, for like the three of you still here, the reason I really love this is it lets you play in a completely different way to normal. Sleep attacks are just the best, aren't they? So, a build that lets you do them constantly, because let's be honest, a lot of the time when you're farming, if it's not an Elder Dragon, you're gonna cap. Save yourself time. Which means you don't even get one sleep wake up hit, and it's like, well, why did I bother bringing this thing here? You know how heavy it is? But with this, you get to abuse the living hell out of your ridiculous wake-up damage, and that's a lot of fun. You also get to charge and spam tackles for actual KO and damage, which is something you don't normally get to do, and you get to use the jumping wide slash, which is a really satisfying slap roundhouse slash that, again, normally gets skipped over out of emergency bailouts and repositions, but it's not the most used move in the world. And that together makes a really niche, different, and refreshing playstyle. Oh, and by the way, the falling asleep animation, it takes ages to complete, and it's essentially another free opening, and you could just keep being on the monster as long as it hasn't technically finished it, so that's really cool. And it's just a really fun, refreshing way of playing the greatsword that actually uses a weapon with a status on it. I know, it's crazy, and look how effectively it absolutely brutalized this Rathalos. Look at that, is that not fantastic? So yeah, let's go over the specifics of the build then. Here is what I am wearing, and it's very similar to a normal kind of greatsword setup, but a little bit rejigged to make this work. 2 sleep attack, because obviously we're trying to put things to sleep as much as possible, and then we snuck in the Diablos chest with a KO jewel to get level 3 slugger to give yourself at least 1 or 2 KOs during the fight. Now this works pretty much exclusively in single player because the thresholds in multiplayer are so high that unless you have other KOs and sleepers on your team, you're not really going to get more than 1 if you're lucky, but in single player it really does work out. The rest of the build is just around maximizing your sleep here. 80% affinity with the Radobaan slab, which of course you have to use as that's the only sleep greatsword, and you want yourself, if you could, augment it. I don't have the stones to spare. I still need to augment my Wyvern Igniter, but if you did, it would be affinity, health, and attack. Your kind of standard trio for all-round farming. Now, if you did have the jewels, unfortunately you don't, so... Wait, you don't? Why did that end up being accusative? You don't, okay? Because you don't have the jewels, I can't finish this set. No, because I don't have 3 crit boost jewels, I can't use this version, which would technically be better because it would maximize the wake up hit even more while retaining an 80% chance to actually crit, which is obviously very damn solid. And we could fit all 3 sleep attacks, some attack jewels, and, you know, crit boost in every slot. It would be a lot better like this, but I simply don't have the jewelage. I don't even have the 3rd sleep jewel, so yay! But this means that with this set, at least on a Rathalos, actually it might outdo the kill time with a normal standard greatsword. It works against many monsters. You need to really target something that's at least 2-star weak to sleep, so your Basils, your Gigantes, but even against the 1-stars, it's really not that horribly inefficient. So the actual... we're missing an important piece, you know, your loyal and trusty partner. Your palico is important to this build, so you wanna go and give Hang On the Butterfly. Imagine a cat hybrid flying high in the sky. Oh my god, I would totally die. So you want to give your palico the explosions, the Meowlatov cocktail, because both the Wrath of Meow and the bomb do come with element if your palico is using element or status. So you want to give your palico the barn hammer, which is the only sleep palico weapon, and that combined with you will build the sleep so much faster, because even with the jumping wide slash, which does do bonus status damage, it's still going to take a bit of building, because you are obviously using a very slow hitting weapon, and elemental and status build-up does not care how much damage you deal, just how frequently you can hit, and obviously this is a greatsword. So yeah, once you've got that all set up, the playstyle isn't too crazy. You want to just kind of stick to the monster's face, take the apothecary mantle so you can get a much faster sleep. The other option's kind of up to you. I like Rocksteady for a little bit more, well, steadiness, but you can affinity booster to guarantee the sleep wake up critting, but you're wasting 30% of it, so evasion mantle's also completely fine. Essentially just whatever you like in that slot. And then you want to just kind of chill next to the monster's face, get as many tackles off as possible. Essentially you're kind of playing I'm gonna sit in front of him, be like, hi, how you doing? And then charge your attack, and then just tackle when you otherwise would get hit or roared, and then repeat, and then deliberately always do the jumping wide slash after the tackle, at least the second time around, when you would otherwise have to go into the true charge slash or nothing. And the thing is, this does really reward monster knowledge with tackle timing, because for example, you get a roar after something wakes up from its sleep, so I delayed my animations as long as possible here, so I would hit level 3 charge to tackle through Rathalos's angry roar and then continue the onslaught. You can very easily do things a little bit too quickly and get flinched, and then you start feeling real bad about it. And then you essentially just repeat that until you either A, get a KO, in which case you do a normal true charge combo, or you get a sleep, in which case you do what damage you can during the go to sleep animation, and then you line up a monstrous hit. Now the thing is, a lot of monsters have a different sleep animation for being put to sleep compared to falling asleep naturally, so you gotta get a little bit finicky with where you choose to hit. But another advantage of this is that you can do part sniping really well, because you can deliberately cut off tails, because the monster's nicely just lying there and offering at you. You can get horns and all of that, so if you did a specific part, Valhazak fangs from his head, and even Devil Joe tall fangs, this does work really well against Devil Joe, because he's very susceptible to both stun and sleep. He's just very tall, so it's not as easy to actually be hitting his face. And obviously you can completely drop the KO aspect, get rid of the chest, put on something like Dober or your traditional Damascus with the Kaiser gauntlets, you know, your traditional greatsword best set for the igniter, but just use it with the slab and sock it in 3 sleep attack instead of whatever else you would have used, and then just get the extra sleep wake ups. You don't need to go the full way, but I absolutely adore that with the Diablos it looks like I'm actually ramming the horns on the shoulder into the monster with the tackle, and that's what's doing the damage. I feel like it sells it really thematically, and it's kind of cool to have a bulkier armor set at one point. But yeah, that really is it. The playstyle's nothing too crazy, the build's nothing too crazy, but it's very different for a greatsword, and it is very, very fun, and your clear times are really not that much slower, for the benefit of it honestly being a lot safer, because you're reducing a lot of damage, especially if you do get your health augment on there, and you are getting a lot of free uptime from KOs, and then obviously your sleep hits. So yeah, something like Nergigante, by the way, has like 3,400 health, if I recall correctly, and 3 wake-up attacks are 3,000 damage. So you think about that. You think about that right now. I actually nearly choked there. Apparently I'm not allowed to make people think about stuff. Oh my god. But yeah, my name has been Josh. Let me know what you thought of this. Let me know if you'd like more kind of off-the-wall builds. Like if you did, have fun, and please spread this around. It means the world, and I love making these videos, and I hope you can tell that. And I really want everyone to see them, you know, but only if you enjoy yourself. Either way, I'm gonna go sleep. Because I sleep. Goodbye. That was such a train wreck of an outro. But I've made my bed, and I'm gonna lie in it. Apparently I am going to sleep. God damn the sleep metaphors! Fuck's sake. I love this so much.
Rage Gaming with the video flow.
But that's all that's really relevant at the mo, but I'm still gonna leave this up so you patrons know that I love you, even though the outro's no longer that kind of relevant. But the new one's being worked on, and it's gonna be a truly badass song, and don't worry, I won't be doing any rapping on it. I'm gonna go now. This was shit.